Today, we're doing a deep dive on the Chartrators lobby system. Now, if you don't know what Chartrators is, it's day trading that's been gamified, a software that I created that launches this fall. So if you haven't seen the trailer, go take a minute to take a look at it. Otherwise, let's get right into the lobby system, how it looks like when you're playing Chartrators, and the kinds of things you can do, the ticket sizes you can buy, the kinds of money you can make, the features, and everything Chartrators lobby system. And I'm going to be continuously doing these types of videos to show off the different features of Chartrators in a deeper way. And you're going to learn a lot about how day trading is going to look like for the future and what my vision is for day trading, as I call it, day trading 2.0. So this is the lobby system. So you are going to be logging into your software like so. You have your login screen. Now this is a separate application. It's not a web app or anything like that. It's a fully downloadable video game, much like League of Legends or anything like that, where you use real money to day trade, and it brings you right to the lobby system. So we've got a lot to go through here, and we're going to take some time and just look at all the different features of what it has. And we won't get to the deep dive of all the different features in this video, but we're going to go through a big bulk of them, and then we'll leave some of the other deep dives for the other videos, because there's going to be a lot of different pieces of this software that we have to go through. So we start off instantly with the main menu system, which you can see located at the top. You've got Start, your Raiders Pass, Character Training, Shop. We'll learn about all those in a different video, but for now, let's just take a look at some of the other features. You've got, as we zoom in, a media player here, which you can toggle on or off in your settings panel. And if you don't like the music that we have, sure, toggle it off, etc., etc. Your username, your team and party. So this is interesting because this allows you to invite different team members to your party. So when you're day trading, you're going to be able to go, and you're going to be able to go into a solo match by yourself. You're going to be able to go with one friend, two friends, or even three friends for a full party of four. And a couple of these links up here. This is your Raiders board. This is your socials menu, so your friends list and all that. And this is your in-game currency and settings. So pretty simple and straightforward stuff. But let's get into some of the different ways in which this lobby system works. Now, I'm also going to bring up a few of our different animations that we have so people can better understand what it looks like. But right off the gate, we have something called peak meter, and that's what you're seeing right here. These three kind of numbers right here. You have number 1, 2, and 3. And what the peak meter does, it allows you to go and peek on somebody else's charts. And the best way that I can show this is just by actually bringing up a video of what it looks like. Right? So you have peak meter, you have this little green bar here, which is how much peak meter you have left on your account. So you can see down here in this little menu system here, you have that peak meter in the bottom left corner. So you can see some users here. This user, Jimmy Jam, he's got most of his peak meter drained, and then a couple other users don't have much used, and this member here has full. And so what you can see is it will fill and not fill. You get to pick who you want to peek on. You see a nice little animation go across your screen. We can watch that again. And it will show you a bunch of information about their trades. Now it's going to show you their name, their profit and loss, their accuracy, where their entries are. You'll be able to copy their trades. And this is a non-destructive feature. Actually, this user who you're peeking on, who's in first place in a match, and that's what that 1, 2, and 3 represents, is the placement there in a match. It's actually non-destructive towards them. That means that this has no interaction with them. They won't even know that someone's peeking at them. It's simply just intelligence, and it is an intel-based game that has no destructive features. So Chartrators at its core allows you to train yourself. And some of the cool things about the peak meter is that it allows for a lot of in-game interaction. For example, if you're second place and you want to peek on first place and the match only has 10 minutes left, and these are hour-long matches that happen. If there was only 10 minutes left and you saw that a user wanted to go for a 15-minute level, well, you might decide that you need to go for a 5-minute level in order to beat them because they're ahead of you in placement just by a little bit. And so you could use that to maybe get an edge over the person in front of you, or you could use it as a training tool if you're brand new and you could be peeking on other players to see what they're doing. So there's lots of different strategy and implication there. There's lots of different ways we can use the peak meter, and allows us to see what other users are doing in their trades at any given time during a match. And as that peak meter goes down, you lose your peak meter, right? You have maybe 15 seconds or 10 seconds. And this changes based on the way you build your character. You might lose peak meter because you keep using it, and then you're down to nothing. And that's it. That's a wrap. You have no more peak meter left. You might change to second place. You might change to third place. And as you click those different buttons, as you see here, this is what you're seeing, right? You get your peak meter. Watch it one more time here. Click a button, see their trades, copy them if you want, bang. Peak meter runs out, and it's a resource you have inside your trading. which is a really cool feature. So that goes over this little section here. Up here, we have our global chat system. So you can have different things like match chat with different people. You might have a team chat, and you can simply just hide this away and you'll see the different instances of how people chat. Now, that would be assuming that you're in a match. In this example here, we're simply in the lobby. We haven't started a match yet. And we're just taking a look at some of the different things and some things like spectator mode and such. So let's go over here to some different screenshots. So you do have what's called spectator mode. So upon entering the lobby system, when you first boot up your software, you are just simply watching other people trade. It's kind of cool. It's almost like a game of Counter-Strike where you have the replay mode or the spectator mode, and you can just kind of watch different matches going on. So you go into spectator mode, and if we zoom in down here, you see spectator controls. You can copy their chart. You can go previous player, next player. So you just go up or down, left or right. And in each match, there's 100 players. So in each match, you've got 100 players. And in our spectator mode, we allow the 9 featured matches that are live to be watched at any time. Now we have some anti-cheat and anti-collusion measures in there. So there are things like delays and stuff like that, but we won't give away all of our secrets. But this allows people to be able to go and take a look. So you'd enter a game and you'd enter the lobby mode, you wouldn't be in a game and you'd be in spectator mode. And you can simply hit left and right on your keyboard to cycle between matches and up and down to cycle between those players. And you would be watching their charts and how they trade, which is really cool because it opens up a lot of different things for streaming content, media creation. You want to create videos on watching other people trade? You can. You want to go stream on Twitch and just simply commentate on matches before you go into your matches? You can. And that's what the spectator mode is. You can cycle it through buy-in type. So you want $10 matches, you want the bigger matches like $100 or $1,000 buy-ins, you can go do that. You can cycle it by MMR, match stage, party size, all sorts of different metrics here where you can filter through and look at what you have in spectator mode. So this is a really cool feature because we have 3 modes right from lobby. We have free mode, which allows you to chart in our software, just as you would in any software like TradingView. We have spectator mode, which simply allows you to view other players, which I think is absolutely awesome. Because let's be honest, you first log on and you don't always want to just do your own charting. Sometimes you want to just sit there and watch. Sometimes you need a break from charting. Sometimes you want to just be able to cast something, talk to your friends about it. You want to be able to have an audience watching you and you can make commentary. You can cycle between players. It really allows for a more of a community encompassing feeling and to be able to see what other players are doing and the kind of trades they take and compare them to yours. So that's a really cool feature is spectator mode. Now we're going to go through some of these other features. Of course, you've got all your normal things here, like you've got your price slider, your date slider. We have something called quick trades. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So you can set up quick trades on your chart and just toggle them on and off with 1, 2, 3, or 4, because sometimes we do like to set multiple orders in trading and you don't have the ability to sit there and constantly type out all the time. It gets cumbersome, it gets boring. You're canceling orders, you're putting orders on the books. You simply can have what we call quick orders and you can hotkey them on and off. You would simply hit 1 and you can see number 1 and 4 here are turned on, and number 2 and 3 are simply not designated. So if you can have up to 4 different quick slots here, and if you didn't have any of these filled, they would just be blank, like number 2 and 3 here. But we can see that number 1 and 4 are filled and we've have them both toggled on. So if we quickly wanted to cancel that trade right before price gets hit, we could simply just hit 1, 2, 3, or 4 based on what that is. And then you've got your different amounts here of trades. So Bitcoin, Solana, whatever you want, whatever kind of coins you want here. We only trade Bitcoin on our software, but we're opening up the Forex, commodities, stocks. We're opening up different cryptos and things like that in the future. We're first launching with just Bitcoin because we need to ensure the service is stable. But for now, it'd just be Bitcoin. So imagine that this also said BTC and not Solana, but we use this for building purposes and testing purposes. Now you get some pretty other cool stuff. There's a lot going on here in the screen. You've got this number 5 here, which this 5.0, the little countdown timer. You've got this plus sign on your amount, right? You have $100 as your starting balance here because that's the ticket size you bought in for. So for example, if you were to enter a match, you get to pick between a $10 match, a $100 match, or a $1,000 match, right? And then your prize pools are divvied up. So if you had 100 people entering a $1,000 match, you'd have a $50,000 prize pool that's claimed amongst the 100 participants over the course of 1 hour, which is really cool because it allows you to be able to make money at an exponential rate while not risking as much. Now, with this system, we are able to have no fees. We have 0 maker and taker fees. We have You can always do limit or market orders. And the only difference we define between a limit and a market order is you get more of what's called your action bar filled up, which is this yellow bar right here. So this is your action bar, and every time you fill your action bar, you get a random bonus during your matches. So limit or market orders, it really doesn't matter to us. You're paying 0 fees on all of them. You can sit there and market order every single trade you ever go into for the rest of your life. And we don't have any fees on that. And on our 100x trading, we don't have anything like that. And everything on this platform is built around 100x. So you could sit there and market order all day long. You could limit order. The only difference is where a limit order for the exact same trade might give you this much of a bar filled, the market order might only give you this much. So you're still going to get something from market order. It's just going to be quite a bit less, right? So that's really the only difference we have in limit and market orders. You get rewarded slightly in terms of action bar for taking that order, right? And then you've got some icons here as well. You've got this, which is our multiplier system. So this here, let's set it to 100. This is our multiplier system. So every time you take a trade that is successful, you get a multiplier. It goes 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, all the way up to 10x. So if you take 10 successful trades in a row, then you have a 10x multiplier. And every time you hit a new multiplier, so every consecutive good trade you have in a row, it gives you another bonus or benefit. Now, let's say, for example, you take your first good trade, you get a 1x multiplier. That gives you a bonus 4% profits on your next trade. You get now to a 2x multiplier because you have 2 successful trades in a row. Now, maybe you have an extra 10% peak meter or trade delay. And trade delay is another feature here that we can look at inside the game and inside the lobby system. Let's finish with these first here before we get to that. And let's go to that after. So you can see here, we have different icons kind of gamified very nicely, right? You have different icons and what these may do. And we can just see a few different things here. You'd hover over your tooltip and your next trade has 4% bonus profits. Active bonus peak meter fills up 20% faster. So these are just 2 of the examples we use as to where you could have 2 bonuses here. One may have been an action bar bonus, one may be a multiplier bonus. They have different sets of bonuses that activate based on how often you take good trades and how much you fill your peak meter, which is really cool because it adds this kind of layer to this game, which also, by the way, isn't a game because you use real money and you win real money, but it adds a layer of complexity and strategy towards really creating your character and picking different classes. We have 3 classes: scalp, swing, and position trader. They all have different benefits. They all have things that would allow them to maximize or potentially create their trading style differently. And it comes down to what's your trading style. Here's the benefits you get from that. If you're more of a position trader, well, we have benefits that are more for position traders. Even though the matches are only an hour long, it rewards those who take only few and far between trades. The less amounts of trades you take, the more benefits you get, kind of thing. So there's really a lot of strategy layers behind the class system, behind our equipment panel, because we also have equipment in the chart raiders ecosystem where you can equip things that give you more trade delay, for example, or bonuses when you take consecutive winning trades under 15 minutes, because that would be for a scalp class, for example. And there's all sorts of different intricate ways that you can build out your character and your classes. Not for this video, this is simply the lobby system, but it's good to touch on it anyways. Now, this number here is what we call trade delay. Now, this one is very interesting. So we're going to go bring up trade delay here as a little video so that we can better describe this. Now, before we get into the video, essentially what trade delay does, it allows you to enter a trade with this timer. Now, this person has 5 seconds. You know, if you equipped your character for trade delay and you had all these items for different trade delay and bonuses activated, you might have more trade delay. You might have 9.4 seconds, but let's just assume we have 5 seconds as a default. What this allows is you can pick any spot where you would want to take a trade, right? Like you could pick any spot on the chart where you'd want to take a trade, and it allows you to have 5 seconds. If you hotkey it and activate it, it allows you to have 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever your trade delay is to decide if you want to take that trade. So for example, we'll bring up the video. And you can see we have trade delay that was activated up here. This person probably has about 12 or 13 seconds of trade delay in total. Or if we were to assume these are 1 second candles, this would be 8. So that would be a full 9, 10, 11. So they maybe have 11 seconds of trade delay. So they activated it here with a hotkey. Let's say the user is holding, well, we'll just use the Z key for this example. The Z key, and Z activates trade delay. They have entered here and they have 8.46 seconds left to see if they want to stay in this trade. Now they have 7.29 seconds. So if they were to let go of the Z key or hit a different hotkey, they could exit this trade as if it never existed, therefore leaving them with 7.29 seconds of trade delay left. If they wanted to keep riding this trade, they could continue to let that trade delay counter go down, and that would be exactly that. And so you would exit a trade. Let's get back to that little example here. Oopsies. There we go. So you would have time to decide, is this a good trade or is this a bad trade? It's one of the resources that you can use for trading while you're trading in Chart Raiders, which again, this is a really cool feature because it's not something any other exchange or platform can do, but because of the way we've built the architecture and engineered our system, we are fully allowed to do this with no cost to the user. And this goes for taking profits. This goes for taking trades. Maybe you're in some crazy knife catch. Maybe Bitcoin is having one of its days where it's just absolutely flying and it moves down $3,000 in minutes, and you're in some trade with trade delay and you've tried to catch this crazy knife, and maybe you decide that wasn't the right trade, or maybe you've used your trade delay to ensure you're protected and you've actually nailed the perfect trade but want to keep that trade delay on just to make sure that is a good trade to stay in. And then you decide at what point you want to preserve the rest of your trade delay. Maybe you have 7.03 seconds left like this, and you want to preserve the rest of that. So trade delay is a really unique feature that allows users to enter trades differently. And the way we build Chart Raiders is to look at trading in a gamified way, completely new to the world, that has never been done before. Now we've got another little icon down here, this plus icon, and this plus icon is interesting. This is what we call a Tradelixer. So Tradelixer allows you to fill your health in a match. So essentially you have a buy-in. And so for this example, let's pretend this is a match. This is a $100 buy-in and this user has exactly $50 left. You can use a Tradelixer, which restores $50 inside that match. And that Tradelixer will allow you to, once a match, or depending if you build your character to have 2 of these a match, or maybe you sacrifice having Tradelixer for having more trade delay or something like that, because you have the equipment that says, hey, I get double my trade delay because I have no trade elixirs, and you capped at 0 trade elixirs. Well, then you don't get to use any trade elixirs, and your character is built more about having this kind of trade delay, or maybe action bar bonuses, or maybe peak meter like up here, right? So this is something where you're able to use a trade elixir on yourself, or even possibly on teammates. As you can see the trade elixir button here, this user has, for example, this is empty, right? This is recover 50% for IHVET, that trader there. This person has 14 trade elixirs left on their account, etc., etc. You have all sorts of different ways and hovers that activate. This is used, this is none available, this is, you have some available, but it can't be used because this user still has full health, right? So in this match, if you were to buy in for $100, you can see this character here, Jimmy Jam, he has lost half of his account, right? So he's at $50. So you could activate this and give him these 2 trade amounts back to him, and he'd be back up at $100, therefore leaving you with no trade elixirs left. So you have a certain cap as to how many trade elixirs you can use a match, because it wouldn't be fair if you could just infinitely keep restoring teammates and take first place. The yellow here indicates the amount of money they have that's tied up in trades. So actually this user can't trade anymore. He has $50 left in his account and he has $50 tied up in a trade. This user has $100 left in their account and 25 tied up in a trade, and same here. And you may even get, a little bit of this one filled in with yellow because they have $30 or whatever. Not really important for this example, but I think everybody understands. Right? So you start getting into really cool features. You got all your different notifications that can happen on your screen. You've got the tickets that you buy. I want to talk about this for a second. So the way that Chart Raiders works is you have 100 players per match. The matches are exactly 1 hour each, and you buy a ticket and enter that match in that queue pool. As soon as the match is ready to go, you are launched into a match with 100 other people, or 99 other people, I should say, and you are now playing for the next hour to see who can get first place, and the prize pool is separate and is divvied up. I'm going to go based off memory here because I don't quite remember the exact prize pool distributions, but I'm going to go off memory here. And the prize pool distribution here allows us to, first place, for example, is going to get 31%, I believe. So if you bought a $10 ticket and you got first place over the course of an hour, you'd leave that match with $310. If it was a $1,000 match, you'd leave that match with $31,000. And I believe it is all the top 60 places that get paid. We can quickly go and bring this up here. I bet you I could find the prize pool breakdown. Aha, we do. Okay, I found it. Let's go back here. And this is our prize pool breakdown. So you can see in the prize pool breakdown that everybody who finishes in the top 20 is actually making 20% of their account back. Anybody who finishes in the top 30, if they have a $10 ticket, they still leave with $7. Anybody who finishes in the top 43, they still get $5 back of their 10, or 50 out of 100, or 500 out of 1,000. Anybody who finishes in the top 60 still gets money. And there's actually other ways to make money in the match too. By filling your action bar, there are special bonuses where you can collect a certain amount of the prize pool. For example, there's a certain action bar bonus that if you fill your action bar, you can actually get 3% of the prize pool. So if you bought in with a $100 ticket, you hit an action bar bonus and you got claimed 3% of the prize pool. Well, all of a sudden you paid $100 for your match and you're leaving with $400. So you're generating a $300 profit off that 1 hour match with $100. That would be equivalent to making 300% on a trade, which isn't usually doable in an hour. And that's why the system is so beautiful, because if you had $100 and you finished first place, well, all of a sudden you have $3,100. If you finished in dead last at 100, exactly 100th place, but you got the action bar bonus, claim 3% prize back, well, you'd actually leave with $300 extra dollars. Well, $200 extra because you would leave with 0% of the prize pool, which is 0 out of 100, but then you'd have 3% back, which means you made a full 200% on your account. And so this is the prize pool breakdown and the way it looks like. And so you can see that it's very evenly distributed. And for the most part, people are leaving the match with money. It's pretty rare that, unless you're in the 61 to 100, well, but if you're in these places anyways, you've likely gone and spent $100 on trading on an exchange and lost that anyway. So there's no real difference there, whether you're trading here or an exchange. The only difference is you can still claim a lot of different funding back, and exponentially on the other side, you could grow your account at a crazy rate. Imagine you had a smaller account, okay? And you had $10 tickets that you were buying. Maybe you finished first place twice in a day, and that's 31% 2 times. So you actually had $10. Maybe you spent $50 on buying tickets. So you played 5 matches, you spent $50, but you won. Let's just say you finished first 2 times and dead last 3 times. Well, you now made $620 from 50, and you have grown your account over 1,000% in a few hours, in less than 5 hours, because you played 5 matches and each match is only an hour long. And you were able to grow your account exponentially. The way that we're able to achieve this and the way that we're able to do that is because we don't do things like charge fees. We don't have liquidation rates. Liquidation in chart raiders is a true one-to-one system. That means if your trade is down 99%, we only use 100x. And if your trade is down 99%, you're still in the trade. You're not liquidated at 68 or 65 or 50, 58% or any of these different rates that these exchanges use, because we don't have anybody who helped us fund this project. I have backboned this project myself. I have paid for development without investors. So there's no liquidation that has to go to investors, because that's the way these exchanges operate. They have a liquidation rate. And when people get liquidated, well, guess who gets that money? It's the investors who stake them the money to be able to operate their exchange properly. So there's a reality behind liquidation rates where that money goes into an investor's pockets. We don't have any investors, and this was very important to me to backbone and be the only person to fund this project for 3 years, so that we don't have to have systems like that. So we can have a true one-to-one liquidation rate. So we don't have to charge fees on trades. So we can create things like trade delay. So we can create things like action bar, peak meter, Tradelixers, all those kinds of things. And that's a really great thing. And so when your match starts, you're going to see a few different cool things here. You enter a queue. So the queue would be, maybe you entered a $100 match. You use the ticket or you buy with USD. Either way, you enter a $100 match. Your match is about to start, and you're going to be able to see the different raids. Now, we're not going to get into this system here today. This will be for another deep dive, but you've got races that happen. You've got raids that happen. You've got bounties that happen. And you can see where you can get different items and rewards for completing certain tasks. Play 10 matches, you get 2 raid fragments. Take 1 trade a day for 20 days straight, you get 2 cases. And those cases could have anything from legendary items that give you account benefits that increase trade delay, to just more raid fragments. And this raid name make 500% during the raid. They have 440% so far, and they get a special profile title. And then you can see here a match is active. This is a $1,000 match. The prize bag is $56,210. And c'est la vie, you're good to go, right? Let's take a look at a few more screenshots here. We have a leaderboard system. So when you are in the match, just like any game like PUBG or whatever, you hit your tab key, any MOBA, Dota, PUBG, anything like that. Apex, you hit tab key and you can see which users are in which place, right? And you can see how many items they have on their team, and you can see how many trades they've taken, their accuracy, their bankroll. And these are trades that are current but not locked up. So you can see this team has $100 left, but they're -80 in their trades. or this player, I should say, has $100 locked up. I think this is a team game because we have too many items listed here. That's okay. We're not going to worry about the items category. The items category represents how many items that team has. So if each player on the team has all 6 items, because you have 6 different item slots, that means if there was 4 players, you'd actually have 24 total, right? You'd have 24 items total, because 6, 12, 18, 24, and 18 of those 24 slots are filled. So this is just kind of a way to show how many items that team has and is using, to show how kind of powerful they are equipment wise. Almost like a gear score type of thing. And so you can see this team only has $100 in their entire bankroll, but $80 is locked up. So really they only have $20 to trade with. You can see if placement number 2 here were to close his trade right now, well, he jumped to number 1 because this player has $185 that's not locked up. At the end of the match, you're going to see a nice little trade screen here, what kind of experience you got, your level, the type of different money you made in the match, the total won, the teammates, so teammate 1, 2, 3, and 4, what each teammate won based on their performance. And you're working as a team, which is really cool because you're able to work together on a team, right? You're able to sit there and say like, okay, well, we have 4 people here and how do we work the best together? So it really allows for team trading in groups of 4. Maybe you want to have 1 coach and 3 traders. Maybe you want to have that coach be built up just as a support class to heal your teammates. Maybe you want to have that coach be somebody who's leading the team and showing these examples. There's so many different ways in which it can interact between teammates. It's actually crazy, right? So take a quick look here, see if there's anything else that we need. I don't think so. I think we're kind of done. We can go through and show a few cool different animations, right? This is nothing here. That's just some old design work. And we can end this off by showing a few of the different cool animations that we have for chart raiders and the way they look. And we're really trying to make sure that it's a very modern trading experience. So when you have, for example, a long filled, this is what it looks like, right? You're going to see this replay here in a second. There's a long, level gets hit, order gets filled, right? Let's see the stop hit, for example, stop. And you can click this button here and drag it around. That's how a stop looks. When you have a take profit, it looks much the same, except now it converts into a animation that shows how much profit you made on that trade. This is another stop hit. Let's keep looking here. This is what it looks like when you draw a level. Nice, snappy, modern animation. So when you draw levels, they're going to be like that. When you draw trend lines, kind of the same thing. When you have origin levels, if you don't know what origin levels are, but you can see there's like a pulsation. That's when something has been hit 2 times. The 3rd time it gets hit, it turns into an origin level automatically. So kind of a cool thing here. You can see like a little pulsation at the bottom of the level. You know that if your level is pulsing like that, it's already been tested once. And then when it gets tested again, it turns into an origin level. Right? Very cool. Very nice, very snappy. And we'll kind of leave it at that for now with the animations. There's a whole bunch that we have. I think we can just leave it at that for now. And then another cool thing we have is everything is color coded so that there's a unity across the entire software, so that every time you mark a level on the 1 minute, it's this color, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Same with the animations. They combine and they connect through with these colors. So if you had a daily level, these animation levels would be red. It would be a red trend line that you draw. This wouldn't be green. It would be red. Or if it was the 1 hour, it would be blue. That's a 15-minute level. And that's a deep dive of our lobby system. So you first enter, you can be free mode, which just allows you to chart and practice and use your abilities and specials, basically like your paper trading. You can go into spectator mode and go take a look at what everybody's doing on their charts by any means you want to fulfill. So if you want to be a streamer who's commentating, if you want to use it for learning purposes, if you want to just study, if you're just chilling and you're not ready for a match yet, if you're doing anything between entertainment to esports, it's the amount of use cases for spectator mode is awesome. Right? And then you have your actual lobby match, which you take real money, you enter real matches, you play for an hour long, and then you simply go and collect your prize and say la vie, withdraw, make a career out of this. A very different way that we tackle day trading with chart raiders, and something that nobody in the industry is doing right now. Because this is a system where you can make an exponential amount of money if you put the time and effort in it. Because if you're using $100 tickets and first place is $3,100, it's not just first place that gets rewarded. By the way, if you actually go and look at the rule set, even if you finish 7th place, you're making 2.9%. So if you entered with $100, you're leaving with $290. So you're making a full 2.9% profit. Like that's really good. You're getting 2.9%. So you just made 190% on your buy-in. So if your buy-in was $100, if you're entering $100 trade, trade. That would be equivalent to making 190% on a 100x trade in less than an hour. And you can just spam these matches all day long. You want to play 10 matches? Go ahead. You want to play 20? Go ahead. 20 would be a long day. You'd be talking about over a 20-hour day because there'd be a match queue time. That's basically like your whole day, night to 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. the next day. But you get the point, is that this system allows for you to constantly make money without a ton of risk, right? As long as you're not knocking yourself out in the bottom 100th. But then there might be strategies where people want to fill their action bar to take 3% right off the top and take that $300 out of their account and lose the match right away. There's so many different strategies and ways that this can unfold that it's really quite interesting. And that's going to be it. That's the wrap up on the deep dive on our lobby system in Chart Raiders. Again, if you haven't seen it, go check out the trailer. We've got a lot of deep dives coming out for the different ways in which we're going to be looking at Chart Raiders in the future here. And we release in fall. So Chart Raiders is open for pre-order right now. There's a bunch of awesome things that you can get as pre-order benefits. There's a beta test happening in summer. So if you want to be part of the beta test, go join the pre-order, and that's on chartraiders.com. Check out the other trailers, and fall is when we release in full. So wish us luck. We're going to be opening worldwide. We'll be legally operable everywhere in the world. And that's also another exciting landmark for us, as we've got our licensing all set. So thank you for watching this deep dive on Chart Raiders lobby system. And next time we'll maybe go over multipliers or action bar, or a deeper maybe look at the character panel. Who knows? But for now, that's good. Thanks so much for being here. See you next time.